did you move to Guam before
All
going
right.
to the United States?
So I moved to Guam, 13 years old. God, I forgot which month. I think we left during March. March of '04. We moved to Guam because I had my dad's my grandfather from my father's side has been there for like years, probably 10 years. So it was one of my uncles. So it was just basically an entry point, make things easier for us since we had more relatives there than anything. And I stayed there for 6 months. I went there for eighth grade. Yeah,
How was your experience?
pretty much not really nice. Since I was an immigrant, I didn't really know how to speak English. Well, I knew how to speak English, but I had an accent like this, so it wasn't really. It was hard because adjusting to a new culture was hard. You had to leave everything behind. You really didn't have friends. You couldn't even talk back to the people. You don't understand the subject matter, like the history. You don't understand anything, honestly. I basically just went to Guam and then I just went to school there. And Guam, and not to speak badly of the place, it's a nice place, beautiful. It's a small place, but if you're an immigrant and the people who grew up there, they don't look at you. They don't think highly of you because it's basically it's the mindset of you're taking away their jobs basically, and yeah, it was just discrimination at that point because they never looked at you. They never looked at your character. They looked at your race, and from your race, they judged how you are, which I couldn't blame them, I guess, but it wasn't right. I didn't. It was a culture shock. It was funny too because Guam was the first time I was actually introduced to multiple races. Like races, as in the Philippines, I grew up just with Filipinos, but in Guam, that's when I realized there were more races out there. Like I don't know, the main people there are Chamorros, the natives, and there were white people, black people, whatever. But that was just like, oh, I'm not in the Philippines anymore.
What was your first reaction coming into Guam?
Guam? God, I wanted to go home right away. It was basically the Philippines. It was hot. It rained every hour or so. The weather changes like in a minute, drastically. It's a tropical island. There's a lot of Filipinos, a lot of brown people, so you never really felt out of place for that. Like, that you were not black or white. But what gave you away for me was the accent. That, and I guess that's about it. Um, Guam, yeah.
Were you discriminated a lot in Guam? In school?
In school? Yeah. That sucked. It really did.
Why? What would that kid do to you?
Oh no, it's
Did
not
they
like
do
it's
anything?
not like bullying, like. But yeah, there was discrimination. They wouldn't treat you equally. There's always that like, in the back of their head that this kid's yeah, this kid's an immigrant. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Most people were nice, but there was a considerable number that really didn't treat you well. They, like an oncoming thing is when they would make you read a book in class. I remember this one time. You had to read, and those kids. Well, not all of them, but basically they would just wait for you to fuck up. I'm sorry. Basically, they would make you like wait for you to mess up, and they just laugh, and what you can just the only thing I can do is laugh at myself too, because better than I don't know. That's the only reaction you can do at that point. I mean, I don't know. I've just never felt so alone. I had nothing.
So you really didn't like it in Guam?
It's a nice place for a vacation, but I wouldn't want to live there. The island's too small. It you're not gonna see the entire world from that small of a place. The world is too big. You're um what's the word for it? If you I'm not gonna say it. Should I say it? You want
It's
me
up
to
to
say
you.
it? Okay. If you grow up in too small of a place, or if you've never really seen much of the world or the outside other than where you grew up on, there's a tendency to be a little narrow-minded. That's all.